What if one of the most important prophecies in the Bible began thousands of years ago at the Tower of Babel? What if Babel was more than a tower, more than a building? What if Babel was humanity's first attempt at a global system without God? And what if the Bible warns that the same spirit behind Babel returns again in the last days? Today, we're going to explore the Tower of Babel, the division of the nations, the mysterious passages of Deuteronomy 32, the Book of Enoch, and how all of it may connect to the end times, the deception of the nations, and what many call Satan's little season. Welcome back to Mysteries of the Word. After the flood, the Bible describes humanity beginning again through Noah and his family. Genesis tells us that the earth was repopulated through Noah's 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. The previous world had been judged. Civilizations were gone. The giants had perished. Humanity had been reduced to a single family. This is important because it means that after the flood, humanity once again shared a common ancestry. One blood, one family, one history. Acts 17:26 says, "And hath made of one blood all nations of men, for to dwell on all the face of the earth." But something changed. Genesis 11 tells us that all the earth was of one language and one speech. People migrated together and settled on the plain of Shinar. Instead of spreading across the earth as God had commanded, they gathered together, united, centralized, organized, and they had a plan. The people said, "Let us build ourselves a city and a tower whose top may reach unto heaven." For centuries, people have imagined a simple tower. But many scholars believe Babel represented much more. It was a political center, a religious center, a cultural center, a centralized civilization. The issue wasn't architecture. The issue was rebellion. Notice their words, "Let us make a name for ourselves." Humanity was seeking unity apart from God, power apart from God, identity apart from God. The same temptation first offered in Eden. The same temptation repeated throughout history, the desire to become our own gods. Genesis says, God came down to see the city and the tower. Then something remarkable happened. God divided humanity, languages were confused, people scattered, and nations formed. But why? Most Christians know the story of Babel. Far fewer know what may explain what happened afterward. Deuteronomy 32 contains one of the most mysterious passages in Scripture. It says, "When the Most High divided the nations, when he separated the sons of Adam, he fixed the borders of the peoples according to the number of the sons of God." Some Bible translations say, "sons of Israel." Others preserve an older reading found in ancient manuscripts that says "sons of God." This difference matters, because if the older reading is correct, something extraordinary happened after Babel. The nations were divided, and spiritual beings were somehow connected to those nations. This idea appears throughout the Old Testament. We see the Prince of Persia in Daniel, the Prince of Greece in Daniel. Spiritual powers associated with earthly kingdoms. Could Babel have been the moment when humanity's nations were divided under heavenly administration? Psalm 82 describes God standing in the divine council. He judges supernatural rulers who were entrusted with authority. But these beings became corrupt. Instead of guiding the nations toward righteousness, they led them into rebellion. The result? Idolatry, false religions, human sacrifice, corruption, and spiritual darkness. Many scholars call this the divine council worldview. The idea is that humanity rejected God repeatedly, and after Babel, the nations were allowed to follow lesser spiritual powers. but God chose one nation for himself, Israel. Through Israel would come the Messiah, and through the Messiah, the nations would eventually be reclaimed. Now we move into the non-canonical texts. The Book of Enoch expands on themes only briefly mentioned in Genesis. Enoch describes rebellious watchers descending to earth. These beings teach forbidden knowledge, astronomy, enchantments, weapon-making, occult practices, and humanity becomes corrupted. Violence fills the earth. The flood follows. Although Enoch is not part of most modern biblical canons, it was widely known in the ancient world. The New Testament even quotes from it in Jude. Many researchers notice a pattern. Before the flood, forbidden knowledge. After Babel, spiritual corruption among the nations. Throughout history, humanity repeatedly seeks power without God. The pattern keeps repeating. Babel eventually becomes Babylon. Babylon becomes one of the most powerful symbols in Scripture. Babylon was a real city, a powerful empire, a center of trade, politics, religion, and culture. But throughout the Bible, Babylon becomes more than a location. It becomes a symbol of humanity organizing itself apart from God, a symbol of earthly power replacing divine authority, a symbol of a civilization attempting to reach heaven on its own terms. This pattern begins at Babel. It continues in ancient Babylon, and it appears again in the Book of Revelation. Revelation describes a mysterious end-time system called Mystery Babylon, a system that influences kings, a system that influences commerce, a system that influences nations. The language is remarkably similar to the themes first introduced at Babel: human unity, human power, human pride, global influence. Some Christians interpret Mystery Babylon as a literal future city. Others see it as a world system. Others believe it represents a spiritual reality that has manifested in different forms throughout history. Regardless of interpretation, one thing becomes clear: the spirit of Babel never truly disappeared. It simply changed forms. When we look throughout history, we find a recurring pattern. Power becomes centralized. Humanity seeks security apart from God. Nations seek unity through political systems. Empires rise promising peace and prosperity. Yet over and over, those systems become corrupted. Egypt, Babylon, Persia, Greece, Rome. Each empire sought to unite large portions of the world under one authority. Each eventually fell. The Bible repeatedly warns that human governments, while necessary, cannot solve humanity's deepest problem. Because the problem is not merely political. The problem is spiritual. The heart of Babel was not a tower. The heart of Babel was rebellion, the belief that humanity can create heaven on earth without the Creator. And that temptation remains with us today. Now let's ask the question that brings many people to this topic. Is Babel being rebuilt right now? For the first time in human history, nearly the entire world is connected. Communication happens instantly. Ideas spread globally within seconds. Trade crosses every border. Cultures influence one another on a massive scale. Humanity is becoming increasingly interconnected. Now, this does not automatically mean prophecy is being fulfilled. Christians should be careful not to force current events into biblical texts, but we should also recognize patterns when they appear. The same themes present at Babel continue to emerge. Global unity, centralized power, shared systems, shared communication, shared identity. The technology now exists for humanity to function almost as one civilization, something that would have been unimaginable for most of history. The question is not whether technology is good or bad. The question is whether humanity is once again attempting to build a future apart from God. This brings us to one of the most mysterious prophecies in Scripture. Revelation 20 tells us that Satan will be released for a short time and will go out to deceive the nations. Notice that phrase, the nations, not merely individuals, the nations, the same nations that were divided after Babel, the same nations discussed throughout the Old Testament, the same nations associated with spiritual powers in Deuteronomy and Daniel. Throughout the Bible, there is an ongoing struggle over truth and deception. In Eden, the serpent deceived humanity. Before the flood, corruption spread across the earth. At Babel, humanity united in rebellion. Throughout history, nations have repeatedly turned away from God, and Revelation describes one final deception before God's ultimate victory. Many Christians disagree about exactly when this occurs. Some see it as entirely future. Others believe aspects of it may already be unfolding. Regardless of one's interpretation, the warning remains the same. The nations can be deceived. Humanity can be deceived. And spiritual deception often appears wrapped in promises of progress, unity, knowledge, and power. The Book of Enoch provides an interesting perspective on this pattern. Enoch describes rebellious heavenly beings teaching humanity knowledge that was never intended to be used in the way it was. Knowledge itself was not the problem. The problem was rebellion. Knowledge disconnected from wisdom. Power disconnected from righteousness. Technology disconnected from God's purposes. Many readers of Enoch see a warning, not against learning, not against discovery, but against the belief that knowledge alone can save humanity. The ancient world believed it could. The builders of Babel believed it could. Many modern systems believe it can. Yet Scripture repeatedly points us back to the same truth. Humanity's greatest need is not more information, it is reconciliation with God. One of the most beautiful themes in Scripture is that God's plan does not end with division. Babel divided the nations, but Pentecost points toward restoration. At Babel, languages were confused. At Pentecost, people from many nations heard the gospel. At Babel, humanity scattered. Through Christ, people from every tribe, tongue, and nation are invited into one family. The Bible's story moves from unity to division, and finally to redemption. Revelation ultimately shows people from every nation standing before God's throne. The nations that were scattered are gathered again, not through human effort, not through political systems, not through towers reaching heaven, but through Christ. The story of Babel is far bigger than many of us were taught. It is not merely a story about languages. It is a story about power, authority, rebellion, the nations, spiritual forces, and humanity's ongoing attempt to build a world without God. Whether Babel is being rebuilt today is something each viewer must consider for themselves, but the patterns are difficult to ignore. A united humanity, global systems, spiritual deception, the struggle between truth and falsehood. The Bible presents these themes from Genesis all the way to Revelation. Perhaps Babel was not simply an event in the distant past. Perhaps it was the beginning of a story that is still unfolding. And perhaps understanding that story helps us better understand the times in which we live. If you enjoyed this exploration of biblical mysteries, prophecy, and hidden history, be sure to subscribe to Mysteries of the Word. And remember, search the Scriptures, test everything, hold fast to what is true.